You're exhausted. Your labs are normal, but you feel anything but. Your doctor shrugs. So you find someone who listens, who talks about root causes and balance and healing. You feel hope again. But what if hope isn't the same as help? Today we explore the allure of alternative medicine and what happens when beautiful theories face hard evidence. Hi, I'm Dr. Bobby Du Bois, and welcome to Live Long and Well, a podcast where we will talk about what you can do to live as long as possible and with as much energy and vigor that you wish. Together, we will explore what practical and evidence-supported steps you can take. Come join me on this very important journey, and I hope that you feel empowered along the way. I'm a physician, Ironman triathlete, and have published several hundred scientific studies. I'm honored to be your guide. Welcome, my dear listeners, to episode 64, The Allure of Alternative Medicine. Beautiful theories, not much evidence. Complementary and alternative medicine is a large category of providers, including naturopaths, homeopaths, chiropractors, and functional medicine doctors. And they often prescribe treatments like supplements, detox programs, acupuncture, chiropractic manipulation, Ayurvedic, or Chinese medicines. Today, we will explore why is there such an allure to see alternative medicine providers? What training do these providers get, and what is their scientific approach? Is finding the root cause and successfully treating it likely? Take-home message. There are kernels of truth in what these doctors offer you. Evidence supports exercise, better sleep, a good diet, sauna, meditation, and having strong social connections. My 6 pillars to live long and well. But much of what is prescribed is just hype and lacks rigorous evidence, like expensive diagnostic tests, detox cleanses, hormone balancing, mitochondrial support, microbiome repair, and numerous supplements. By the end, I hope that you're better able to decide what is right for you. This episode is a bit like the young boy who said that the emperor had no clothes. As I recall, it was effective, but no one rewarded the little boy for saying what was obvious. I may upset certain providers and some of you, but I do it from a vantage point of evidence and of caring for you, my listeners. But I acknowledge that others might feel criticized or even threatened. Here is our outline for today. Part 1. How many people seek alternative medicine approaches? Part 2. Why? What is the allure? Part 3. Who are these providers and how are they trained? Part 4. Is there any evidence to support what they prescribe? My call to action for you today. Might you suggest this podcast to someone else? Nothing financial in it for me, just the joy that more folks might become more knowledgeable. And if you haven't signed up for my free newsletter, please do so at drbobbyevidence.com. Okay, part 1. Many folks seek alternative medicine providers. Estimated that 11% saw a chiropractor, tens of millions. 8 million people got acupuncture. Millions saw a naturopath or homeopath. And 38% of folks, perhaps 150 million people, used some alternative medicine therapy, which includes supplements. So it's common, and many, many billions of dollars are spent on this. And you're likely hearing pitches for all sorts of root causes and cures. Be an open-minded skeptic, but be careful. Part 2. What is the allure that attracts so many people? First, there's a long history of belief in alternative medicine. Absolutely, some herbal therapies have stood the test of time. Quinine from a tree bark for malaria, pain control from opium poppies. Willow tree bark gave us aspirin. The plant foxglove contains digitalis, which helps heart failure. But there are also numerous examples of where alternative approaches don't work. Bloodletting, leeches, not so much. Vitamin C, and so many others. Second, as a patient, there is a strong allure because I feel lousy and traditional medicine doesn't seem to help. I'm fatigued and don't sleep well, feel bloated or inflamed, and have a bunch of body parts that hurt. I want an answer or a cause. Doctors don't spend much time with me. I want to feel empowered that I can do something to help. Most importantly, it is satisfying to think there is a root cause to it all. Perhaps in my microbiome, or toxins in my body, or hormones out of balance, or my mitochondria not functioning well. Alternative medicine says there is very likely a root cause that explains your fatigue, pain, bloating that can be cured. Finding a root cause for feeling lousy is great. And if treatment could solve it, then I'm excited and supportive. And there are root causes for these types of complaints. Autoimmune diseases like lupus and celiac disease, RA or MS. True and major hormonal imbalances like profound hypothyroidism or actual adrenal failure like Addison's disease, or toxic metal poisoning like lead overload. But these well-documented and evidence-supported root causes are pretty uncommon, perhaps even rare. Despite the actual rarity of these conditions, you're being told there is very likely a root cause for your problems. Providers can find it for you and make you feel better very quickly. And that is the problem. Hope for a cause that is unlikely and not supported by credible evidence. The evidence does not support that many of those who suffer these very common complaints have a treatable root cause. I wish that it did. A belief in root causes has been around for hundreds or thousands of years. The Greeks believed in the four humors: blood, yellow bile, black bile, and phlegm. And when they were out of balance, disease happens. A few decades ago, many believed common complaints like fatigue, depression, chronic pain were due to a variety of hidden infections like Lyme disease, chronic candidiasis, or chronic Epstein-Barr virus. Now we know these were not the cause for most folks. The latest set of root causes that we hear about are adrenal fatigue or mitochondrial dysfunction, or more generally that our microbiome or hormones are out of balance, or that we suffer from chronic inflammation. Summing up this section, root causes are great, but far less common than what is being touted. More commonly, it's hype that will cost you time and money. Part 3, who are these providers offering an alternative solution, and how are they trained? There are many alternative medicine providers, and we can only explore a few of them today. We'll look at homeopathic doctors, naturopathic doctors, and functional medicine doctors. We won't talk today about chiropractic, Chinese medicine, or acupuncture. If you're interested, perhaps another time. Let's start with homeopathy. Homeopathy was based on 18th century principles by Samuel Hahnemann. He believed that like cures like, or the law of similars. Substances causing symptoms in healthy people could cure those same symptoms in sick people. So, if an herb causes nausea or headache or fatigue at full doses in normal people who don't have these symptoms, then you have a target compound that might treat others who do suffer from headache or fatigue. You take this target compound and dilute it, then dilute it again and again, and you give it to sick people, and they get better. What is called potentization. To be clear, dilution and dilution leads to actually no molecules remaining. But as the theory of homeopathy goes, the water remembers what was previously in it. To be a homeopathic provider, there's no standardized medical training required. Weekend courses, online training. Some are more extensive. Despite its popularity, no scientific evidence supports homeopathic approaches. And there's no biologic plausibility for why it could possibly work. Likely it's the placebo effect. And when compared to placebo response in actual clinical studies, the homeopathy treatments get the same amount of benefit. I could walk through the many assessments, but I'll save you the time. No credible scientific group supports it. Enough said about homeopathy. Now we're on to naturopaths. They believe in the theory of vis medicatrix naturae, or the healing power of nature. Fundamental philosophy is that the body has an innate healing ability, and that health issues should not be managed by drugs, but by supporting your body with lifestyle, nutrition, and natural therapies. Naturopaths focus on prevention and treating the whole patient. To be a naturopathic doctor does require training, typically 4-year graduate programs at naturopathic medical schools. Curriculum includes basic sciences, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, diagnosis, minor surgery, natural therapeutics. Clinical training, typically 1,200 hours, licensed in 26 U.S. states. Does evidence support what naturopathic doctors do? Well, yes and no. There's ample evidence about lifestyle counseling, as we've discussed in my 6 pillars. Exercise, eat well, sleep enough are all good approaches. And some of the botanicals they suggest also have some supportive evidence. St. John's wort for depression, saw palmetto for prostate problems. Where you can potentially get in trouble with naturopathic doctors is searching for root causes when they're not likely to be found. Belief that vaccines are often not appropriate, and mixed views by these doctors on using some traditional treatments for cancer or other serious illnesses. If it is complementary or in addition to traditional therapy and focuses on lifestyle changes, then likely find a try and perhaps use my N of 1 approach from episode 27. But as we will review soon, the root cause approach is too often just hope and hype, but not much evidence. And now for the emperor with the clothes problem, or functional medicine doctors. Functional medicine is very focused on finding root causes. You may have a variety of symptoms like pain, fatigue, weight gain, and a functional medicine doctor will look to see if there's an underlying cause or imbalance. By understanding a patient's genetic, environment, and lifestyle influences, functional medicine clinicians help you create personalized interventions that restore balance, health, and well-being, and help you focus on maintaining your health. And so far, so good. According to the Institute of Functional Medicine, they've trained close to 100,000 providers, although only about 2,500 have actually completed certification. These providers may be physicians, but also could be chiropractors, dietitians, nurse practitioners, or even just a health coach. Most likely, if you see a functional medicine provider, they've not been certified in the field, and there is no recognized certification by the American Board of Medical Specialties, the group that certifies specialists in the U.S. Functional medicine has wonderful goals, which are to map complex symptoms to interrelated body systems, to identify and address lifestyle and environmental contributors. And they position themselves as holistic partners rather than just medication prescribers. Treat the patient, not the diagnosis. As discussed above, there are circumstances when an underlying infection, autoimmune disease, or true toxicity is to blame. And when those are the root causes, there's strong evidence to support specific treatment. But few patients really have one of these clear problems. Here's the rub. Since those absolutely clear and evidence-based root causes are so uncommon, functional medicine looks for other root causes, which is where the emperor has no clothes. These other root causes don't have rigorous evidence to support. Here are some of those emperor-like root causes. Dysbiosis of your microbiome, adrenal fatigue, chronic inflammation, hormone imbalance, metabolic challenges, metal toxicity, underlying infections or mold exposure, and mitochondrial dysfunction. For these root causes, again, there's very little evidence. And these are the usual root causes that functional medicine doctors find and encourage you to treat. I have prior episodes on the microbiome, total body detox, and supplements, which you might find helpful as they walk through each of these areas and the evidence that does or often does not support them. On the positive side, when functional medicine focuses on good lifestyle changes like movement, sleep, good food, stress management, there's evidence to support it, and I applaud those recommendations. But too often, functional medicine is in search of a cause that does not have evidence to support it. From a practical standpoint, here are the problems as I see them. This applies to functional medicine doctors as well as naturopathic doctors and homeopathic ones. Problem one, in search of a root cause, you're likely to end up with a lot of testing with substantial costs, take a bunch of time, and give you false hope. Perhaps you'll get a panel of routine blood tests like Function Health, $500. Maybe a microbiome genetic sequencing of your stool, heavy metal assessment, adrenal fatigue tests from blood or urine, SIBO breath testing, mold assessment, mitochondrial assessment, food sensitivity testing, or several $1,000s for a full assessment. Second problem, now that you've done all these tests, it's reasonably likely that something will be positive or false positive, and your doctor may say, "Eureka, we have found your true root cause." If that were true, great. But as I believe the supposed root cause likely isn't one. In my episode number 12 on to test or not to test, I talk about the risk of false positives. And here is likely very true. Test a lot, find something, treat something, unlikely you won't be better off. Third problem. Now that you have a root cause, here comes the treatment. Likely not evidence-based. Famous saying by the psychologist Abraham Maslow. If all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Once you find the supposed root cause, then a cascade of treatments might result. If lifestyle-oriented, great, but so often it's more than that. Oh, you have toxins in your body, you need a detox program. You have gut dysbiosis, and you need to reset your microbiome with pre- and probiotics and perhaps postbiotics. You have mitochondrial dysfunction, and you need my expensive mitochondrial supplements to help you. Or perhaps you need adrenal support or hyperbaric oxygen treatment. As I've discussed many times, these types of interventions have evidence for rare diagnoses, but not for what you typically might experience or what these doctors are suggesting. Let's sum up and figure out a path forward. Alternative medicine is alluring. So many of us have chronic complaints that the traditional system does not help. Alternative medicine providers will spend time with you and search for root causes. And they offer the belief that a root cause can be found, but there really is no evidence to support homeopathy, naturopathic doctors. Now, they are on firm ground when they discuss lifestyle changes. For me, it goes off the rails when these doctors promise a root cause, do thousands of dollars of unnecessary testing, and may find something that is likely not a true root cause. There is strong evidence for lifestyle interventions, diet, exercise, sleep, stress management. But these aren't unique to alternative medicine. Your traditional doctor supports them. I support them. Please focus on them. But sadly, there's almost no evidence to support doing extensive diagnostic testing or support for so many of the supplements, detox programs, or medications that are recommended. So what are the solutions? There are a few. Be an open-minded skeptic. It will serve you well. As always, ask questions about the evidence that supports what's being recommended. Perhaps see an alternative medicine provider as an add-on to your routine care, not as your sole doctor, because then you can return to your traditional doctor and see what they think, like a second opinion. I want you to live long and well. Beware of those who promise a root cause for what ails you, and only they have the solution that nobody else has told you about. Please tell me about your experiences in this area, and especially if you disagree with me. I love feedback, good or bad. Until next time, this is Dr. Bobby. Thanks so much for listening to Live Long and Well with Dr. Bobby. If you like this episode, please provide a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen. If you want to continue this journey or want to receive my newsletter on practical and scientific ways to improve your health and longevity, please visit me at drbobbylivelongandwell.com. That's doctor as in DR, Bobby, livelongandwell.com.